anything, be it who handles the finances or even how to conceive a child. Ms. Shannon says she and Ms. Navy just can't seem to get on the same page. Ms. Navy says things might be better if she actually believed that Ms. Shannon wasn't ashamed of their sexuality and secretly having sex with her male friend. Ooh, there's a lot to untangle here. Let's hear their case.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding. Your Honor, this is the case of Shannon versus Navy.
Thank you very much. Ms. Shannon, you say that you are in court here today because the woman standing next to you is not the woman you fell in love with. You say Ms. Navy is financially irresponsible, drinks far too much, and is possibly a cheater. If things don't change, you are done with this relationship.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Navy, you are here today to make it clear that you are not the problem. Ms. Shannon is. You say she is deflecting from the real issue at hand, how your baby should be conceived. You say you want to build a life with Ms. Shannon, but you want to do it the right way.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why don't you tell me why we're in court today, Ms. Shannon?
I brought it to court because I'm tired of her being weird with me. And I'm trying to work it out, but I'm trying to get some counseling, some help right now, because if she doesn't change, then I'm over it.
Ms. Navy, what do you say to Ms. Shannon's allegations?
I do spend a lot of money, but I pay for most of the bills, so I feel like that shouldn't be no issue.
I know that you met through Facebook, but the biggest issue I see from my case file is what's going on with this I want to have a baby. Why don't you make your case, Ms. Shannon?
We saved up money to do in vitro, but I feel like that's too much. Why are we saving $50,000 when we can do it the old-fashioned way? So I asked my friend, and he doesn't mind. He wants a child, too. She's so insecure about him and my relationship. Every time I speak about him, she gets angry. She accusing me of sleeping with him. I've been knowing this man for 10 years. I've been knowing Mark for longer than I've been knowing you.
Ms. Navy, I would like to hear your point in this one.
I'm not comfortable with her laying up with no man. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna happen one time. That means you're gonna be laying up for days, and then you think I'm supposed to be okay with that?
If you're in a monogamous relationship, I cannot fathom how you have an expectation that it would be okay with your partner to bring a third party in, no matter who it is. Now, if she was, that is absolutely fine. No judgment on your relationship. But if she's not okay with it, you can't be mad at her for having her own feelings.
She's not okay with it because of who it is. And
well, then, okay, she doesn't want that dude to be the father of her baby. Is that fair to say, Ms. Navy?
That's fair.
Okay, guess what? If I'm the baby mama also, I don't want him to be the father of my baby, then he's not gonna be the father of my baby.
That's fine.
I mean, you just have to think about it very logically now.
At this point, she's already feeling some type of way because I'm bisexual and she's a lesbian.
Okay, now we're getting to the real core of the problem.
Yeah.
So you enjoy intimate contact with men and women, am I correct?
Yes, I'm bisexual, but if I'm with Angel, if I'm with a woman, I'm not crossing up. Like,
Got it.
I'm with a man and a woman. Like, that's not how
So
I'm
you're
wired.
just telling me you don't cheat, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
When
I'm
you're
not- I'm not
when
a
you're
cheater
committed,
when I'm in
you're
a
committed.
relationship. Absolutely.
Okay, and
Yes,
your
Your Honor.
choices are, as somebody I loved once said, when you look behind the door, whatever's there, if I'm feeling them,
Yeah.
that's cool with me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool
Yes,
cool
Your
as the
Honor.
game. That's not how I work, but it don't mean it's not supposed to be for me.
Right.
It's supposed to be for you. Now, I run over here to Miss Navy. That's not how you work either. is it?
No, that's not at all. I mean, are y'all sleeping together? I just want to know,
we're
are
not
y'all sleeping together?
We're not. If
Have
we
y'all
were
ever
sleeping
slept
I
together?
would have told you that.
Have y'all ever slept together?
No, we're not.
So why?
No, you didn't answer her question. I
We're
heard it.
not sleeping together. We never have slept together.
There you go.
And just because he's a man doesn't mean that we're sleeping together.
Okay.
I can't be comfortable with my girlfriend knowing that I got multiple friends that's males without her thinking that I'm sleeping with everybody.
When I'm talking to her FaceTime, Your Honor, this dude will get in the camera while I'm FaceTiming and lay on her chest. Is that an appropriate relationship? Do you think that's acceptable?
Do you think half of the things you do is acceptable?
Okay,
Okay.
let's talk about this. What do you claim Miss Navy has done or is doing?
I can't get in contact with her, but she has 3 phones. We go out, she's doing everything that you could think of. Dancing, she's a twerker, okay?
Something tells me that when
She don't respect it.
twerks for you, you good with that.
I'm okay. Yeah, I want her dance work for me. But
Yeah.
when I dance, she act like it's a problem. Anything that I do is a problem for her. But I don't say anything. That's the problem for me.
Your Honor.
I say nothing because I respect Angel as a person. So my real problem is, how are you so mad about things that I'm doing when I'm really not doing nothing and you're getting caught doing everything?
Because the dude moved back to the city just to come be with you.
No,
he's
didn't.
chasing you.
You
city
think
to
he's
city.
chasing me
for
because,
what?
because
And
he got
now
stuff
us
going
One
on.
at a
That's-
time, please.
That's my friend, first of all. I'm never finna let my friend be outside on the street.
Miss Shannon, if this man is that important to you, that you are going to allow your relationship with him to supersede the relationship with Miss Navy. Miss Shannon has just said that is her friend, and you're going to need to accept it. And guess what? You don't have to. I think that you have to be honest in a relationship, but you need to be prepared for the other person to say, that don't work for me.
I'm okay with that. My thing is, you're not finna be insecure
Can I
about
explain
everything
can
that
I
I
explain
do.
my side?
But I'm talking though, and this is what you do too. She overtalks me.
Excuse me, no,
Every time we
everybody's
have a conversation-
over-talking everybody, and I feel like I'm in the middle of the view, and I'm not doing that anymore.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I don't know how y'all work in y'all's house, but in my house, that's not how we work.
Understood.
And this
Your
happens
Honor.
to be my
Yes,
house.
Your Honor.
Understood.
Calm down, okay? Because I really don't moderate just two women screaming at each other.
Okay.
It's coming across very ignorant. Have some dignity. Have some respect. You don't have enough respect for yourself in the courtroom. You need to have respect for yourselves before you can have respect for each other. So no screaming, no back and forth. I don't know what Miss Navy does at home, but in my presence, you are an A personality, but it can come across like bullying. I'm being very straight with you. Miss Navy, I'm not sure if this is going to work.
What do? You just leave? You just walk out on a 2-year relationship? Like, what do you do?
I don't want to come off like a bully, but Angel is not. She's mean. Okay.
And I'm just tired of feeling like everything I do don't matter. It's never enough. When I first met Portia, the thing that attracted me to her was because I'm not that close to my family like that. So when me and her, when she called me for me to come clean up her house, I was just starting my business. So I wanted to be able to go out with my employees to go look at the places to do the quotes and stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of times in the industry, I'm not respected, And I feel like sometimes people don't take me serious.
Miss Shannon, what do you want to come out of this?
At first, I wanted to reconcile and try to see if we could, put away our differences and talk about the Mark situation and talk about her drinking and talk about this.
She doesn't like Mark.
I know she doesn't like Mark. We know she don't like Mark. She don't want to have a baby with Mark. But Mark is gonna be my friend.
But I want to be with you though. I
But
still want to be
At
with you.
this point, you don't understand that I let you do what you need to do, how you need to do it, but you don't do the same for me. She's calling, she's texting, she's where you
No,
at,
you
what
just
you're
made
doing.
a very good point.
Like I can't.
No, Miss Shannon, no, you made a very good point. Miss Shannon has said that Mark is important in her life. You have to make a determination. Can you be in a relationship with somebody who tells you that this is somebody who's going to be there and going to be in their lives?
What do? You just leave? You just walk out on a 2-year relationship? Like, what do you do? Like, this ain't nothing that
I'm sitting here really in all that. You sitting over here crying like
You know
this
what?
because she's been disrespectful to me. I don't want to argue with her. I never want to argue with her. I try to not argue as much as I can, but it doesn't matter. We texting, we going back and forth, and I'm
you
tired
all, I
of
can
it.
tell you right
I'm-
now,
I'm
y'all
really
argue.
like-
This is the way you communicate with each other.
and I don't want to do it no more, Your Honor.
No, it's always like this. She's
Like,
always doing this to me, and I'm
I've
always
always
crying.
said to
And I'm
Angel-
always
Right,
getting
please.
shut down.
I'm sorry. I've always said to Angel, I
No,
respect
it's
her
my
as a
girl.
woman, and I value her as a friend because we can actually
Miss Shannon,
be-
I'd like to say stop talking for a moment. In every relationship, there's different dynamics. I don't know what Miss Navy does at home, but in my presence, you are an A personality. You are the leader in this relationship, but it can come across like bullying. I'm being very straight with you.
It's not trying to be that.
I'm not talking about what it's trying to be.
Okay.
I'm telling you the way it's coming across. And this is something that I think we all could take a look at ourselves.
Okay.
I remember I wanted to put a list together of what I wanted in my next relationship. And I had to put the list up to the mirror and ask myself, do I match the list that I want? If I say I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody who argues all the time, then I can't walk into a relationship always arguing. If I say I want somebody who listens, I gotta learn to listen.
You're right.
That's what I'm talking about. So I'm not sure how you operate, but I'm trying to share with you how I was operating and how I wanted to make a change because I wanted somebody in my life to fit that list. So your bombastic approach can be off-putting to somebody who loves you because it feels aggressive. It may be intended with love, but it's about how it's being received. Can you at least accept, in theory, what I'm talking about?
Yes, Your Honor, I accept that. Like I said, she talks to me any type of way. She's verbally abusive.
So
like,
why are you in the relationship, Miss Shannon?
That's my point. I'm tired. I don't even, at this point, she get drunk, she wanna fight, she wanna argue. I'm tired of that. I'm over it. I don't wanna be with you, and I'm done. Sorry, and it might be in
You know what? I'm done with this.
If you'd like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Missed a show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content.
And I think right now I'm just at the point where I feel like I've been sincere enough. I feel like I've been nice enough to the point where either we're gonna be friends and stop the relationship, or I just gotta stay away from her, period, because I don't want anything like negative to come. I love her too. I love Angel. That's like I said, we friends before anything, but I don't wanna hate Angel.
Miss Navy, I'm not sure if this is going to work. I know what you said about do you just walk away from a 2-year relationship. But if nobody's happy, why are we in a relationship?
Where am I gonna find love at? Like, where am I gonna find somebody who really, like, I don't know, like, what, I don't know.
So are you,
like,
are
can we
you
work
with,
on it?
are
I want
you
to do
with
some type
Miss
of
Shannon?
therapy. Like, can we figure something out? Like, I don't just want it to be to where we just say, like, it's done, and, like, I don't want it to be done.
That means you want to work at making the relationship work.
I'm sorry. I don't want to come off like a bully, but Angel is not, she's mean, okay? Like I said, she talks to me any type of way. She's verbally abusive.
So
like,
why are you in the relationship, Miss Shannon?
That's my point. I'm tired. I don't even, at this point, she get drunk, she wanna fight, she wanna argue. I'm tired of that. I can't do that. I can't concentrate on what I'm trying to do because I'm trying to figure out how to make her happy, but she making me unhappy. So why? Why am I even gonna try anymore? That's
so
how I
don't
feel.
do nothing to make you happy? I don't do nothing. There's nothing
Within
that
the
I
last
do to make
6
you
months,
happy.
she has
know it's
not made me
nothing.
happy. She's made me miserable, made me stop talking to her. So I'm over it. I don't wanna be with you, and I'm done. Sorry, and it might be in
You know what? I'm done with this.
See? Why would
I
you
know.
Why would you do?
You want me to embarrass
Why
you?
would you
Now you
already
can be
embarrassed?
embarrassed so much you don't want to be with nobody.
Girl.
Everybody gonna know that this is
All
what
right,
you was with.
all right, listen.
Oh, my God.
It's gotta stop. It's gotta stop.
I
It's
want to
gotta
know
stop.
why she threw the wig.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
gotta
Why she
stop.
threw the wig off. What the wig do?
Yep.
Wig is off, but you gotta stop.
Bailiff, I want to know what
And
the
I'm not
wig
too. It
did
don't
and
make-
why she threw
yeah,
it on the
that's fine
floor.
because you're talking about me getting
Yeah,
drunk.
that's
doing all
because
this.
you don't
I'll
want to
do it
argue
right
and
here.
fight.
Listen.
You your wig on the floor.
I'm gonna have to tell you guys to leave.
Gosh,
You guys are gonna have to leave.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Your Honor. But this is the stuff I'm talking about. I don't want to go out and the wig end up on the floor because she mad.
Miss Shannon,
Yep.
folks show you who they are.
Yeah, believe him.
Believe them the first time.
Yeah.
Miss Navy, bless your heart. But in the million years, I never would expect that you would disrespect yourself. No matter who you love or who loves you, you gotta stand in the space for yourself. And the last thing I'm gonna do is embarrass myself. I don't give a flip about what she's saying, what the bailiff's saying, what the judge saying. But I'm never gonna embarrass myself because I come from a proud, dignified people. And I don't want my mother in heaven or my grandmother in heaven or my mother's 8 sisters to ever be humiliated or embarrassed because I did not represent my family. You're supposed to be a queen, and you just acted like a court jester.
That's what she makes me do.
No, she does not.
She does make me do this.
Everything is my fault.
makes
You do. You
Excuse
make me
me,
do.
Miss
I'm sorry.
Shannon.
I'm
no
sorry.
one makes you step outside of yourself. Under normal circumstances, I'd walk away. But as a black woman, I'm looking at another black woman, and you just embarrassed yourself. You didn't humiliate the race. You didn't humiliate other women. You humiliated yourself. There's gonna come a time that you're going to want something. And maybe you'll be able to put the drinking to the side. Maybe you might not wanna dance anymore. Maybe you might meet somebody that floats your boat, that you want to be somebody's wife and mother. And they're going to see you in the courtroom snatch your own hair off your head and throw it to the floor because you were too upset to express your disappointment in a manner that was dignified. Ma'am, you did that.
I'm trying to work on myself, and I know I got mad at the heat of the moment, and yes, that I can acknowledge, and I want to acknowledge it because I want to work on myself. And if I don't say it, if I don't acknowledge it, then I'm not. But yes, I do know that my anger gets to me. I do know when I get mad at the heat of the moment, things like that happen because I get so mad, and I feel like there's nothing that I can do about it. But you're right, like, I really just need to focus on myself. Like, maybe all this means is I look back at this, and I just know that I'm gonna move forward, and I don't ever wanna be in this kind of situation again.
That's what I want to hear.
I
That's
don't
what
wanna
I want to
embarrass
hear.
myself no more.
This don't have nothing to do with Miss Shannon. You know, people always tell you, you gotta hit rock bottom to get yourself back up. Well, I bet this would be considered rock bottom. I'm going to want you to put your chin up, wipe your tears from your face, and walk out
With my
with some
head high.
dignity,
With my head high, because I'm not gonna let this bring me down.
because you're better than that.
I'm better than this. Thank you so much.
Stand in the space God has created for you. Don't you ever let anybody push you to demean yourself. Nothing and no one.
When I get back, I'm just moving out. I'm gonna get all my stuff, and I'm gonna go.
It's time for you to work on you. And Miss Shannon, what I want for you is to find the person that works with you. Because there is somebody. You just need to find the person that's compatible.
Yeah.
But you also need to pick somebody who is not in a space that they're not whole human beings.
Yeah.
Hurt people. And what I have just witnessed right here are two extremely hurt people who have been hurting each other for a while. And I don't know why, and it's not enough time for us to figure it out. But again, work on yourselves individually so that you can become the women that you both want to be with some dignity and with some honor. What in the world would make child?
Toxic with a capital T.
I don't think you have had to be that animated the entire time we have been in divorce court.
Let me see, is there a quota for me to say stop talking? Is that for one case? Because I think I overdid it.
You overdid it today. Robert, there's very little to say. This was toxic relationship to the nth degree. But the one lesson that I hope was taken away is never allow someone to push you to a point where you humiliate yourself.
Right, right.
The only thing that I do agree is what the wig do.
Everyone has relationship requirements. We all want someone who shares our beliefs and values. But what if your partner took their commitment to those values too far? On today's case, Ms. Coleman thought she found the perfect match, a handsome choir director who loved the Lord. Now she's realizing that when it comes to Mr. DeBartoletian and his relationship with God, she just might be the other woman. Ms. Coleman says her fiance has brought his praise and worship into every part of their relationship, including their bedroom. Now she says she's tired of sharing her fiance with the Holy Spirit. She says she's ready to tell him that there may be 2 people at the altar, but unless he makes some serious changes, she won't be one of them. Let's hear their case.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding. Your Honor, this is the case of Coleman versus DeBartolome.
Okay. Ms. Coleman, Mr. DeBartolome. Ms. Coleman, you're here in court today because you say you love the defendant, but his lack of romance, his intimate ineptitude, and his childish behaviors have made it hard to continue loving him. You say that if he doesn't make some changes, you're done with this relationship.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. DeBartolome, you say you love the plaintiff, but you actually blame her for the problems in your relationship. You claim Ms. Coleman is a social media junkie who treats you more like an assistant than a partner, and you need her to show you that she wants to fix this relationship.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we clearly started out with a complete meeting of the minds 2 years ago. How'd we get here, Ms. Coleman?
We got here because of Mr. DeBartolome's immaturity, his lack of romance. I like to be wined and dined, and we both love the Lord, don't get me wrong, but he brings it into everything, and I'm like, I just can't deal with it.
Sounds like you're saying you are not as equally yoked as you thought you were.
Absolutely.
Okay, Mr. DeBartolome, what say you, sir?
I'm actually trying to save our relationship because I think that because we met in church, that is part of the reason why she fell for me, not just because of me being the minister of music, but because I'm very in touch with my emotions. I've been honest since day one.
So, ma'am, Miss Coleman, why don't you take me back to how y'all met?
We met, like he said, I was singing at a church. He approached me and immediately got to praise and worship, as he would call it, which is sex.
Oh, so wait, y'all left church and went and got busy?
Absolutely.
Yes, we did.
And it was horrible.
Okay, so the
Your Honor,
the intimacy didn't work in the beginning?
No, it didn't.
It did work, Your Honor.
It worked for him. I was still giving morning announcements. He was already at the benediction.
No, Your Honor, we didn't even do praise and worship. We actually went straight to the word.
Exactly.
Something tells me, as a Southern Christian, I have never heard now one of the deaconesses talk about none of this. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm keeping up with the little bit of
You're
in and outs that's going on.
You're keeping up real well. But there are some functions that you cannot ignore when you are in the spirit, like falling out, trembling.
Ooh. He's the only one falling out trembling. I'm
Ms.
asking.
Coleman, I'm sorry, Mr. DeBartolome is saying that you wasn't saying all that when you were saying all that.
I wasn't saying nothing. I was really saying, God, please do not pass me by, because it went so quick.
Okay, so something tells me that it kind of worked at some point because you've been together for 4 years.
Exactly.
It worked because where I live in Atlanta, honey, the dating pool is horrible. And I'm like, I might as well give somebody a chance. And he does have really great qualities. He's attentive, he's loving.
So tell me about the first date.
Actually, after the
service.
After the
The
service.
revival, actually. The 2-day revival that we had.
It sounded like a lot of vacation Bible school, so keep going.
It was. You got it.
Right. And I'm like, but he's a really cool guy. And I'm trying to put my big girl drawers on and be like, listen, you can't just base his performance as just that. So let's just start over. So I was going to Vegas. I invited him to come to Vegas with me. He came. We had a really, really good time. There was no sex involved. But we had a really good time, and we just got to know each other more.
Oh, you actually did a date this time before
we actually
you jumped
did
right
exactly
into
right.
a situation.
Exactly.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
We had a date.
And she was the one that I thought she was talking about our first situation. I thought she was talking about going to another church. She was talking about our service. So that's why we didn't do the date first, because of you.
So in other words, you the one that was trying to get to the benediction before
Well,
the announcements was made?
I was trying to taste the chicken before I actually bought a piece. See,
Since we are playing with words and phrases, let the judge get in on this. Somebody should have been reading the word instead of just speaking the word.
I agree.
'Cause everybody up in here was doing stuff that don't nothing say about that in the word.
That's true, but we are human, and I went along with it because she's beautiful. She's gorgeous.
All right,
Who wouldn't?
let's get past how we got started and get into why we're here in divorce court. Okay? So clearly, you all worked out whatever those difficulties were because you got engaged.
Yes, ma'am.
6 months ago.
Past 6 months.
Okay, so what's going on?
What's going on is, okay, COVID happened. So there wasn't a lot of intermingling going on. Me and him spent a lot of time together during COVID.
Did you all nest together, if you will?
A little bit. What happened with me is I actually ended up getting COVID, and he was the only person that wanted to be around me.
I can understand
And
that.
I really
Thank you, Jesus.
appreciate him for that.
You know, somebody could have said you nest by yourself.
Right.
And a lot of relationships didn't make it
Right.
out of COVID.
Right.
Okay, because they were not mature enough to understand that if you're going to move to a marriage in sickness and in health also means something. That's
Right.
another part of the Bible.
But in the midst of that, there was still a lack of romance.
We were in the bed one time, and we were intimate. And she claimed she didn't like the music I was playing. And she rolls over, and then she makes a post on Facebook, and I had to find that out at choir rehearsal.
What would make you think it would ever be okay with any partner to post such intimate details
Because she's an
publicly?
attention seeker.
Okay, what do you mean when you say there's no romance?
For me, there was no romance because he doesn't buy me flowers. He doesn't do candy. I mean, some glitter, some sparkles. I like to be wined and dined. He doesn't do any of that. It's like we have such a great time together that he forgets that part of it.
So, Ms. Coleman, let me just understand, what's your love language? Do you like the physical touch? Do you like words of affirmation? Do you need, gifts, acts of service? What's your love language?
I like words of affirmation. I also like gifts. I mean, I'm a woman, so I love a gift or two. His gifts and his romance to him is going to church or going to choir rehearsal.
The lack of romance, I can see how that can get to any woman. So tell me why there seems to be a little bit of a chasm between y'all.
I feel like she never had a problem with me before. She hasn't really communicated with me about that because I feel like the emotional side that I showed her surpasses the gifts and the glitter and the glam because that's what she explained to me she's been getting from other men.
Oh, so you know what I'm hearing, though, is her love language says that words of affirmation and gifts are important. Your love language, you communicate that acts of service are the way you communicate how much you care about somebody.
Yes, no one wanted to be around her. There were thousands of people that died because of the coronavirus. It was a very scary time.
Yes, it was.
And that's why I forever praise God because she shouldn't even be here right now. She shouldn't be standing here. And I was the one that, she stayed with me. So that says more to me than gifts.
And what I'm saying to you is for somebody like me, acts of service means something tremendously. However, there's nothing wrong with someone's love language being gifts. So it's really about figuring out what the love language of your partner is, if that's important to you. You see what I'm saying?
I've tried to show a softer side to her when we're in the bedroom. She prefers to listen to all kind of music like Flip Me and Skip Me and
But Your Honor,
whatever,
he wants to listen to God Don't Need No Matches while we trying to have sex. And I'm like, that's not gonna work for me.
But sex is all over the Bible, Your Honor.
If y'all are not compatible intimately, That's not the foundation from which to build a marriage. And you have to at least find a middle ground that you can enjoy each other in ways that is satisfying to both parties.
Yeah, so you don't post on Facebook
Uh-oh.
about our sex life. We were in the bed one time, and we were intimate, and she claimed she didn't like the music I was playing. I was playing.
Tell her, yeah. What were you playing?
I was playing Mississippi Mass, Your Grace and Mercy.
Ooh, Lord.
I saw her in, she was at church, she was getting all emotional, and so I said, well, this is a good way to incorporate this, so things started getting...
At church.
And then she said she didn't like it, so I put on The Lord Is Blessing Me. And she rolls over, and then she makes a post on Facebook, and I had to find that out at choir rehearsal.
What would make you think it would ever be okay with any partner to post such intimate details
Because she's an
publicly?
attention seeker.
That you have some concerns about whether or not she has found solace with somebody else.
Your Honor, I submitted evidence to the court, and I do know about your trip that you took to Florida.
I also have another confession.
If you'd like your case to be heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Mr. Show, watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content.
I was unsatisfied. I was upset because we've had this conversation over and over, not just about the gospel music, but the fact that it lasts 1 minute.
It just seems mean-spirited and nasty.
It was mean, and I was, like I said, at that time in the bed. Yes, I was being petty. Yes, I was over it.
But I just found that little dig that Ms. Coleman just made, that is indicative of what's going on in a relationship. You are at one place and she is at another. And I know that you have some concerns about whether or not she has found solace with somebody else.
Your Honor, I submitted evidence to the court. She has blocked me on social media. She's blocked me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and I created another fake account. And I do know about your trip that you took to Florida with a random someone that she met on an app.
So wait, is this the photograph that's been submitted into evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
That was put on a social media platform?
Yes, it was put on social media. The video has gotten thousands and thousands of views and comments. There have been people that I work with that has come to me and say that they saw her on the trip and she's bragging and boasting that she met someone else.
And they dressed alike, looking like they're getting ready to go to Great Adventure.
She actually made him an outfit.
No,
Yes,
he
she
bought
did.
his outfit. I made my I'm a clothing designer. So I made my outfit to match his outfit.
So that sounds like you have moved on, Ms. Coleman.
Yes, the things that we did on this trip were very romantic. Things that he has never even tried to do.
That's a lie. That's
When?
a lie.
But did you tell Mr. DeBartolome that you were moving on?
No, she didn't.
We've had a talk about us not being together.
No, you
but
didn't.
Yes, we have. He
No, you
doesn't
did
he
not.
doesn't like to listen.
I had to find out on social
No,
media.
he doesn't like to listen. It took a lot for me to just move on after I kept saying, listen, this is not working for me. This is not working for me. And he's not getting it. And at the same time, I don't want to hurt him, but at the same time, I want to be happy as well. And I don't think that.
So you have moved on.
Yes, I have.
It's unkind to humiliate somebody that you claim to like or love in a public forum that could impact on how other people see him and how he sees himself. And anybody that is supposed to be your friend deserves more respect than that. And somebody that's supposed to be your future husband definitely deserves more respect than that. I don't understand how you can actually say you care about him, Ms. Coleman, but do something that would hurt him in such a public way. I don't understand how that happens.
I agree. But I also have another confession since we're confessing. Yes, I have moved on. Part of the reason that I kind of knew this would not work between me and him, because in the beginning he told me that he hates children. And not only did I want children, but I have children that he doesn't even know about because I was scared to tell him.
You have children?
Yes.
Ms. Coleman, how many children do you have?
I have 2.
So you actually have children and you've been engaged to somebody, you've not told them. This is in 4 years that you all have been dating and 6 months of being engaged?
Well, in the beginning, he told me how much he hates children. When we'll be out in public and he'll be like, oh my God, there's too many kids in here, and oh my God, I can't.
But we would laugh and joke about that, but for you to say you have kids by someone else, like, that's not honest.
That were way before I even knew you existed.
But you lied. You told
I
me
didn't
you
lie,
were
I
having
just
children.
never brought them up.
There are lies of commission and there are lies of omission. I mean, because you knew that that was something that's very important in a relationship. It's like saying that you were married before.
Mm-hmm.
When we first started out, I made a joke about not being equally yoked. And it clearly is an example of being unequally yoked. But not unequally yoked in terms of your relationship with God. You're unequally yoked in terms of integrity. And I don't know if anybody's ever said this to you. You've shown a real lack of integrity. The sisterhood code is to be the hedge of protection in the family. You know what I'm saying? No matter what the man is doing, your partner is doing, making sure that he looks out for the family, you're supposed to be the hedge of protection. And you never put your family on blast like that. You don't put them on full monkey in front of the world. That's not right. And you know exactly what I mean when I say putting somebody on full monkey, just to
I know what you mean.
humiliate them. This man does not deserve that. My grandmother once said to me, and I believe her right now, you always hear these words, what God has joined together, let no man or woman put asunder. God don't join everything together. Sometimes man and woman join themselves together and don't need to be together. Ms. Coleman, you opened this case because although you all were recently engaged, you said the lack of romance has made you question whether or not there was a relationship there. It's clear that you all have not been on the same page for a very long time. Ms. Coleman has moved on. Mr. Bartalebian, you deserve to have somebody that will give you what you want and what you need. Yes. It's not Ms. Coleman.
Are you okay?
I'm doing fine. 2 children?
Yes.
2 kids? And when were you going to tell me that?
I just told you.
I don't know what kind of church they go to, but Lord have mercy. What kind of Bible have they been reading?
It's crazy because it always kills me how, oh, I don't want to hurt his feelings, or I don't want to hurt her feelings. The longer you wait not to hurt their feelings, guess what? It's gonna pile up and it's gonna be a big bomb.
Just that lack of integrity.
Right.
There's something in your core values that makes you do stuff like that, and it's not something that's attractive.
I'm disgusted with that.
I know. I think I need to go wash my hands. They feel dirty. Have you ever had a moment when you didn't believe in yourself, but your partner did? Giving and receiving support from your partner is a key ingredient for a healthy relationship. Well, on today's case, Ms. Rose says that for the last 10 years, she's been Mr. Huffman's backbone, but he's never once reciprocated. She says she's fed up with his narcissistic behavior, and if he doesn't prove to her how much she means to him, he'll be walking out of my courtroom all by himself. Let's hear their case.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding.
Your Honor, this is the case of Rose versus Huffman.
Thank you very much. Ms. Rose, Mr. Huffman. Ms. Rose, you are here in court today because you have come to the conclusion that Mr. Huffman is nothing but a liar and a habitual cheater. You've had it with his infidelities and broken promises, and you're ready to call it quits today.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Huffman, you say you're here today because your love for Ms. Rose is still strong and you don't want to lose her. You admit that you have not been faithful at all times, and even though you know your relationship is literally hanging by a thread, you will do anything to try and save it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we are here to try to see if there's anything salvageable in this 10-year relationship. You all have been together for 10 years. You don't have children together, but you both have children from previous relationships. Currently, you're still a couple, but living separately, and something tells me a whole lot of stuff has happened. Why don't you start, Ms. Rose?
I met Theo 10 years ago, Your Honor. He's a liar, he's a narcissist, he's a cheater, he's a conspiracy theorist, and he's mentally, physically, I'm drained by him, and I'm tired.
It's like enough is enough is enough.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Huffman, you heard what Ms. Rose said. Y'all been together a long time. I'm sure this is not the first time you've heard this. How did we get here, sir?
Bad behavior. You know, I own up to my stuff. I've been classified as a narcissist. I own up to it. You know, some of the things that I've done in the past, that's not me anymore. I went to therapy, talked to somebody, got some of that stuff that I was going through and kind of figure out where I needed to go. And since then, I've just been trying to operate the way that I need to operate. I mean, I ain't perfect, but, you know, we got here.
So you're saying that you admit to, over the years, having caused pain.
Man, I was horrible. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I was some saint. I was a liar, cheater, deceiver, heartbreaker, all that.
And you say that you've changed.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me find out if you're telling the
Yes,
truth.
ma'am.
I'm gonna talk to
Yes,
Ms.
Your Honor.
Rose because she's the one who lived through it. Talk to me a little bit about how you met and what got us to this point, Ms. Rose.
I met Theo 10 years ago through a mutual friend. She liked him. She introduced us. I had a seafood boil, and somehow he got my number. He started texting me, hey, how you doing? How did you make this? How did you make that? And I addressed it to her. She felt some type of way. I told her that I would stop talking to him. But eventually, as time went on, you know, I continued to talk to him. And I know I was wrong for that, Your Honor.
But were they dating?
No,
But she was interested in him.
She was interested.
And he was more interested in you.
Yes.
Okay, but you did, as a woman, tell her that he was trying to check with you.
I did. And as time went on, I continued to talk to him. I was pregnant, actually, Your Honor. And
with someone else's baby?
Yes. I was pregnant. He didn't care about it. I had the baby. He held the baby. But we were just still friends then.
Yeah, I didn't know at first.
Yeah.
I had no clue.
That I was pregnant. When I first met him, he didn't have any idea that I was pregnant because I was barely showing. But as time went on...
I didn't mind either, you know.
Why didn't you mind?
Your Honor, I had a thing where I used to do with women who were pregnant, you know, if a woman didn't have, you know, baby daddy's bad these days, I would assist in helping them have their baby sexually. And that I was comfortable with that.
What are you, a low-rent doula or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, if that's what you want, hey, that's a good way to put it. I'm gonna use that, Your Honor, thank you. That's a good way to put it. That's what I was. And, you know, I didn't mind.
So, this is an example of narcissism, and I would say that actually does check that. That would check that box. But that can't be the only example. What else do you have?
Well, Your Honor, my food truck.
Oh, you had a food truck?
Yes.
I love food trucks.
I've been having my business since 2015, Your Honor.
Good for you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's very successful.
Good for you.
Master P actually rated my sauce. I do have a sauce that is nationwide.
Good for you. Good for you. I love an entrepreneur. Go ahead.
But in 2000 and last year,
okay,
June 16th of last year, my food truck burnt down.
Oh, I'm sad to hear that.
That's okay. I'm getting it together.
Good for you.
But, Your Honor, Theo went around telling people that I burned my own food truck up, Your Honor.
Not exactly.
That food truck meant a lot to me. It had sentimental values inside of there that I cannot replace. He went around telling people that I set my food truck on fire and just start bad-mouthing me to people.
It wasn't necessarily I was bad-mouthing
I don't.
her. I was talking to other people about the situation.
I mean,
I was a little envious. I'm not gonna lie.
That she had a successful business?
I wanted it to be our business initially, but it didn't work out that way.
So you do know you could have put her in a trick bag.
Absolutely.
Because
I do.
if the insurance, I'm assuming you had some insurance.
Of course I did, yeah.
Yeah, because she's a real business person, not a
Right.
fake one, not a low-rent doula. And if there were witnesses who would say, well, there's rumors going around that Miss Rose burned down her own food truck.
I
So then you've got
wasn't
the
thinking
insurance
about that.
people.
I wasn't thinking about that. I
But
was
that's
thinking
one
about
of the
defending
things.
myself.
So you see why I say, let me go to my checklist on narcissism. That's it.
Yeah. I
You
have
weren't
cameras.
thinking about anybody else. Yes, ma'am.
He humiliated me. I have cameras inside my food truck. And I looked at my camera system and I was like, oh my God, the truck is burning. So I raced up there. But he just going around speaking
It wasn't like
things
I was
that's
just
not
telling the
facts.
whole world. I was just telling mutual
He was
friends.
telling females that he was trying to get with. That's what he was telling, Your Honor.
Oh, I don't want to hear no more about this. And you don't put your woman in a situation where she can have people from the community think bad about her. That's just not a good thing to do. That, especially when she's a businesswoman trying to kick off her business, and you don't want to do it if you're jealous and you want to do something with her. Because honestly, I'm not even dealing with whether or not I want to be in a relationship with you. I certainly don't want to be in business with you if I can't trust that you'd be a good business partner.
He went through a hardship. I paid his bills. He told me which bills he needed paid. I go pay him. I'm happy to pay his bills. So I called him. He was like, what do you want? Well, you
She
didn't
could've
have to
texted
call
that.
me for
Obviously,
that.
I was busy. She could have texted me that.
Thank you.
Now, you don't expect him to fall down on his knees and be thank you, thank you, thank you. But you do expect him to show respect.
He also goes around and telling people that I'm an unfit mother because I don't believe in Christmas and holidays anymore.
I mean, it isn't necessarily believing in Christmas.
I don't
It's-
put up Christmas trees. I don't do that.
I mean,
do
that's
support
for the
people.
kids.
I'm
That's just for the
talking-
kids.
I'm
You do
talking-
that for the
I do
kids.
support people
Yes.
that do put up Christmas trees, that do celebrate the holidays. I just don't do it. I feel like I want to teach my kids that one day doesn't mean anything. I don't want them to get sad over holidays, because that's what a lot of people, they suffer from depression on that one holiday. I want to teach my kids, you don't have to do that. And,
It's a lie.
And he goes
It's a
around
lie.
telling people that I'm fit,
It's a
Your
lie to me.
Honor. I'm
But you know what? It
unfit.
just depends on what your family relationship and family dynamic is. I'm not going to... Listen, I couldn't be in a relationship with you because I love Christmas, okay? But I love Christmas for a different reason. Not for the Christmas tree, but because I'm a Christian and I celebrate the birth of Christ. That's me.
Right.
Okay? That's the way I celebrate Christmas. My husband seems to agree with me, so that makes us, quote, equally yoked. Okay? But everybody has somebody that they need to be with
Right.
that will believe what they believe, and that's okay.
Right.
And even
I
when you don't believe
Jesus.
it,
So that's
Yeah.
one, and that's a reason behind that. So I don't subscribe to that. So
sound like that one, y'all just don't celebrate Christmas and
Right,
keep it
that's-
popping.
Let me tell you about the bills, Your Honor.
Okay.
He went through a hardship. He didn't have a job. And of course, I did. I foot a lot of the bills, Your Honor. I paid his bills. He told me which bills he needed paid. I go pay him. I'm happy to pay his bills. So I call him. He's not at work because he doesn't have a job. I call him and I let him know that, hey, I'm done paying the bills. So I'm calling and I'm calling. He's not picking up. And I'm like, he's not doing anything. I just left him. He finally eventually picked up the phone. He was like, what do you want? And I'm like,
Wait, hold up. I just paid your bills.
thank you, Your Honor.
That doesn't give you the right to
I just paid
check
his
up on me
bills.
all the time.
I just paid his bills.
'cause
He
you
started
paid my
yelling
bills?
at me, Your Honor. He was like, what do you want? Why do you keep calling my phone back to back? I'm like, excuse you? I'm just calling to let you know that I just paid the bills that you told me that needed to be paid.
She
Well,
could've-
you
she
didn't
could've
have to
texted
call
that.
me for
Obviously,
that.
I was busy. She could have texted me that.
Thank you. You didn't have to call me for that. You could have just texted that to me. That hurt, Your Honor.
Mr. Huffman, I want you to just think for a second. I want you to put yourself in the position that you have a brother who you love, and sometimes y'all have to have each other's back because that's your brother. One particular day, your brother comes to you and says to you, man, I got in some trouble and I need some help. And you go, dang, dude, you always get in some trouble. But he looks at you with the brother eyes and you go, I'm your boy, so I got your back. And you hook him up and you take care of whatever it is he needed.
Yes, yeah.
And you turn around and literally within hours, your brother throws into your face something that's negative or mean-spirited or comes across like he's ungrateful. Now, you don't expect him to fall down on his knees and be thank you, thank you, thank you. But you do expect him to show respect, okay? Just a little bit of respect that says, I appreciate you having my back, because you didn't have to.
He had a car wreck. So yeah, Your Honor, while he's dosed up and stuff, I took the phone and I took it home. And I read the text messages, and one girl was like, I hope you take care of the baby that's on the way.
You lucky.
Yeah, she talking about suffocating me.
You really lucky she didn't take these 2 fingers and put them on your nostrils and
like,
close
but I
them
was
down
gonna
so
hit
that
him,
you
Your
could
Honor.
not breathe anymore.
Don't give her no ideas, please.
If you'd like your case to be heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Missed a show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content. So you were saying you had stresses in your
Absolutely.
life, and did you take those stresses out on Miss Rose?
I mean, you can say I did, yes. You know,
No,
about my
I'm not
behavior.
going to say it. You'd have to say it.
Yes, yes, I did, Your Honor.
Did
Yes,
you
I
apologize to her?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Did you say to her, baby, I have these stresses?
Here and there, not in one piece. Just I explained it as much as I could with what I had. After we went to therapy.
You and Miss Rose went to therapy?
Yeah, we went to therapy.
Yeah, he's such a narcissist, Your Honor. He thought the therapist, he called them a liar. He thought he knew
She
more
was
than the
doing
therapist did, Your Honor.
Everything that she said, she agreed with. And some of the stuff, I get, but, we're going to therapy. And I think that, she's supposed to be a mediator and to break things down, and she wasn't. Everything she was saying, she was just like, yes, yes, and attacking me. I'm just like, no.
But wait a minute, was she holding you accountable, or was she attacking you?
I felt like she was attacking me.
Well, you know
That's
what?
I felt.
Normally, in therapy, depends on what kind of therapy you seek. Are you seeking Freudian therapy, where they want you to go back into the past, or are we talking behaviorists, where they call you on behaviors?
Right.
And see, the difference is when somebody calls you on your behavior, it might not be comfortable.
No, it wasn't comfortable at all.
It makes you uncomfortable, but what it does is it opens your eyes to those behaviors, and then it makes you responsible for those behaviors. You know what I'm saying? See, because we always can pretend we didn't know. Oh, I didn't know it made you feel that way, or I didn't know it came across that way. But once somebody, a third party, opens your eyes to it, and you acknowledge, dang, I did do that, then you have no excuse other than I'm just gonna keep doing it, which, by the way, some people do, you know that. Some people just continue to do bad behaviors. But you'll never be able to say you didn't know. And I think that usually is what you're feeling when you feel attacked, that somebody called you on their behavior and you didn't feel like you had a way to get out of it, because you gotta defend yourself, just like you said to me.
I just thought it was a combination of her on her side, and then the way that she comes at me, it's not smooth. It's always attack. I feel attacked no matter what, even in my calmest moment. Even when I'm not doing anything wrong, per se, I feel like she's attacking me, and nobody got
Your Honor, I'm gonna give you a reason why.
Okay.
He does a lot of things wrong. I had just had surgery in September of 2017. And Your Honor, like maybe 4 days later, he had a car wreck.
Oh, no.
And I'm still 4 days in of my surgery, but I go and I support him inside the hospital.
Oh, it was a bad car wreck.
It was a bad car wreck, yeah.
Okay.
And I go in there and I support him. I'm there. I'm still hurting, Your Honor. Well, in the midst of them giving him medicine, I saw a phone ring. I saw his phone ring, and it was text messages. So, yeah, Your Honor, while he's dosed up and stuff, I took the phone and I took it home. And I read the text messages. 3 or 4 women inboxed him. And one girl was like, yeah, I hope you're doing good. The next one was like, I see that you want Sandra and her kids, but I hope you take care of the baby that's on the way. This man didn't beg me back, Your Honor, this year. So I give her a call.
You speak to the lady herself?
I spoke to about 3.
Different women?
3 different women. And they all been messing around with him. And so the next day,
oh, you know what? These people violate sisterhood.
Yeah,
boy.
they do, Your Honor. They don't care. I mean, he's allowing it, so it is what it is. But I go up there the next day and I let him know what's going on. And he thought I was gonna attack him. And he was just like, yeah. He was like, nurse, nurse. He was just screaming, nurse, to come and get me out, Your Honor. And I left. And
Please tell me you didn't show out up at the
Your Honor,
hospital.
I was gonna hit him with that pillow. if he didn't call the nurse on me, I was gonna hit him with that pillow.
You lucky.
Yeah, she's talking about suffocating me.
You really lucky she didn't take these 2 fingers and put them on your nostrils and
smother him,
close
but I
them
was gonna
down
hit
so
him,
that
Your
you could
Honor.
not breathe anymore.
I was gonna smother him.
You know, I watch Forensic Files that can do that. They can put these 2 fingers right on your nostrils and stop your breathing. No, I'm sorry. It's not like I meant that at all.
You got serious, Your Honor. Don't give her no ideas, please.
Your Honor, he lied about the baby, and then I had documents.
I just didn't want to tell her about the baby. So yeah, I did lie. I did lie.
That's called a lie.
Yeah, I admit to it. I did
He
lie.
doesn't have just one baby on me. He has 2.
You know this is a spin, right?
Wow.
Spin.
I need to spin because it helps me to focus.
And he lied about both of them, Your Honor. He lied about both of them.
So now there are 2 children in the midst of your relationship.
Yes, Your Honor. And he lied. He looked me dead in my face and my eyes and told me, those are not my baby.
Mr. Huffman, you said when we first started that you wanted to save your relationship, but you did say to me that you had made mistakes. What you didn't say to me that you had been just absolutely a hoe. I don't even know how else to put it.
I was. And you know, we've had our issues and we were going through our problems, and then, like I said, my issues with trust with women. And, you know...
You don't have a right to have an issue with trust for women. They have a right to have an issue with trust for you. There is nothing trustworthy about you, bruh.
No, it's not, Your Honor. I've been with this guy 10 years, Your Honor, and all he do is make me look like the bad person. He just sit up there and talk about me behind my back, Your Honor. And I'm just fed up, thank you. I'm just fed up with him.
Another turn of the event, when she got vaccinated. I don't believe in vaccinated. When she got vaccinated, I couldn't have sex with her.
You mean COVID vaccine?
Yeah, the jab.
You don't,
I
don't believe
deal
in
with
the
jab.
vaccine?
Believe? No, absolutely don't believe in the jab.
Yeah,
I want to be very clear.
Yes, Your Honor.
You had a COVID test before you came here.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because you know you can't be in the room with me.
Yes, Your Honor. I had 2 of them, and you know how...
he steamed his face and everything, Your Honor.
After I got done, I did a whole detox. I did a detox the night before
Since
we
I got
here.
jabbed, Your Honor, he doesn't even have sex with me.
No, I won't.
Because I won't drink some potion or whatever you want to call it. He wants me to drink something.
No, it's not a potion.
Focus, people, focus, because this is sounding silly. And what I'm not going to let you do is put some silly conspiracy theories that might actually jeopardize people's lives. Next time on Divorce Court. Conspiracy theory, narcissism.
How could a person always around me still cheat?
Yes, I'm a narcissist. You know, and I came on the set and I said, you know what? I'm gonna do what I need to do. Give me another opportunity, please. I know I done made a mistake.
Mr. Huffman, do you know Mr. Carlos Miller?
Yeah, that's a good friend of mine.
I can't explain in enough time how close we are.
Miss Rose, why did you bring Mr. Miller?
I've been seeing Carlos.
Bomba.
Mr. Miller, have you been dating Miss Rose?
Is this a trick question?
I want to continue my life
Oh, you
with
like
Carlos.
my brother, man?
And, Your Honor, I got something else.
Wow.
You serious right now?
Yep.
You know, Mr. Huffman, sometimes you don't get to just say sorry. Previously on Divorce Court.
I met Theo 10 years ago through a mutual friend. I was pregnant. He didn't care about it. I had the baby. He held the baby.
I would assist in helping them have their baby.
What are you, a low-rent doula or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, that's what